I decided tonight that I'm just gonna let you have it. So I wanted to tell you that you are actually the main reason that your body doesn't heal itself. Okay, so I said that I want to tell you why your body's not healing itself. If so, it's very slow, much slower than it should be or could be. Your ability to fight off colds and the flu, and if something is injured inside your body, a nerve, surgery, anything, the body was built and designed to repair itself. And it takes a few things to get it to do that, like exercise on a regular basis and the correct diets. But you are the main reason that it's not healing, okay? So if you don't have time to listen, it tells me you're not interested in the healing in your body, and you don't want to listen to anybody's advice. You're going to eat what you want to eat. You're going to want to do what you want to do anyway. Well, you might as well scroll on past, because I'm going to tell the truth. A lot of people, all right, it's in the food. What you are constantly making your body do is be at a constant state of war. And the war is between your body and the things that you're taking in that the body is rejecting. So each day that you eat this stuff, it keeps your body fighting and focused on that. Oh, she put this ingredient, or he put this ingredient in his body. Oh, we can't have that. So we got to fight that. All right. So that seems like it wouldn't be too bad. And normally that wouldn't be too bad. But I told you that it's at a state of war, right? So the war, here goes the war. In the morning, you eat some breakfast and you eat the bread with it or the bagel or something. Well, it's also carbs, but it depends on what that food was made out of and what are the ingredients. And most people don't know. If it tastes good and they eat it, hey, that's it, they'll pay. All right. Without, thinking about consequences or anything like that. So we're basically the reason our bodies are not functioning well. And I can tell you where it all began, when it got legal. It was like in the 70s, I believe it was, the early 70s, and in America. And they came out with generics and generic foods, generic medicine, generic everything. And they told the public that we're going to save you a lot of money. It's cheaper than the name brands. These foods are cheaper than the name brands. But they didn't tell us that it was crap. They said it's convenient. It's good. So the people tasted it. It tastes good. They start feeding it to their kids. And so years later, decades later, since America made it legal to feed us anything, it just got out of control. It ballooned. Grace, greed. Greed is what, did this to America. In the 70s, I don't care how many times you heard me say it, in the 70s, it was unusual to see a fat person. Or if you don't want me to use the word fat, I should say a large person or extra large person. It was unusual, and people would stare at them, and nobody was used to that. Look how big that person is. The kids would go off. And so the war is, let's say, I talked about the breakfast. So at lunchtime, let's say you go to a restaurant. All right. One, what did they fry those fries in? Two, what kind of potatoes were there anyway? Are they real potatoes? Three, is that real meat or not? You just know that it tastes good. Was it made in the lab? What are they putting in it? All right. So when you're eating that, now I told you about breakfast, now lunch. Now your body has to fight all of those chemicals off, all right, of what you put in your body. All right, dinner time comes around. You do this same thing every single day. But if you would go in the store, just take one of your shopping experiences to read the boxes or the labels or the cans, whatever you want to say, you'll see that it's things in there that you can't pronounce. It's things in there that if I ask you, what does this do to the body? You have to say, I don't know. I'll say, what's the correct pronunciation of that? You'll say, I don't know. I say, what does this diet do to the body? You're going to say, I don't know. But you're eating it and you're saying it tastes good. You're paying people to slowly give you a death, okay? And you just making them richer and richer. Meanwhile, their families don't eat that. It's their product. They're producing it by the millions of cans and packages, but their family doesn't eat that because they don't allow it. The people with the computers, for example, their kids can't stay on the computers for hours and hours, all times of day and night. So the educated people, when the Bible said that his people perish because of a lack of knowledge, that is one of the things I hope can get through to people. Your lack of knowledge. You can't continue eating stuff and you don't know where it is, what it is. You don't know where it came from. People had to grow their own food, hunt their own food, wait till it grow, you know what I'm saying? Barter with other people who grew. This one grew corn, that one grew greens, and this one had animals so we could get meat, things like that. So all the supermarkets, all the conglomerates, and now the people are sicker than ever. And they get more sicker year by year. So I guess what I'm telling you is, to begin with, you would have to, if you love all these things and you love that food, first of all, you need to take a look at it. What is it you're eating? And think about that. Then when you find out what it is, tell me, what does it do to the body? Is it healthy for the body? Is it artificial or is it natural? And 90% of the stuff is going to be artificially added stuff, chemicals, lab stuff, for your taste buds to make you yearn for more and things like that. But those 3 meals in that one day, you're going to keep your body busy for some days trying to fight that off. And then the next day, you repeat the cycle. You go out there and buy that bread. You eat that bread. You eat that meat. You don't know what's in it. You trust people. Okay, we buy, all right. It's because we all got so dependent on the store, somebody else. Oh, I need meat. You got it? I'll buy it. Oh, I need corn. You got it? I'll buy it. Oh, I need this. I need that. The people stopped doing for themselves a long time ago and producing for themselves. I got to live in the city. I got to be with the in crowd and where the jobs are and all of that. They don't want to work hard at their own survival. They just want to make money and purchase everything and make everything be convenient. But let me talk about people with diabetes, for example. The diabetics can stop. I'll get more personal than that. I had an uncle named Rick that died. And one day I was on the phone with him about a year before he died. And I asked Rick, what are your blood sugar numbers running? Because we're both type 2 diabetics. And he said 180. I said, man, Rick, that's out of control. He did not take that seriously because he ran like that every day and so like that. So I proceeded to tell him that the nurses told me that at 160, your body, it starts doing damage to your body. And so I always worked at keeping those numbers below 160 for years. And then after that, I don't even keep up with it. I don't watch it because I don't eat like that anymore. I don't drink like that. Oh, so being a diabetic, um, you have to cut the thing slowly. I was telling you about all the foods and all the ingredients and stuff like that, but I wasn't giving you the other side. So let's say if you drink 3 or 4 12-ounce cans of grape every day, every 2 days or so, or your Pepsi or Coke, whatever you drink, all right, on the soft drink side, then you have to begin to try to cut it down to one. Then you have to cut down to one every 2 days or so. And as you stop drinking all that sugar down or your bad drinks, your body will begin to level off a little better. The high sugar affects so many things. It eats organs. Sugar is one of the most toxic things on earth when you take too much of it in. And it's the most addictive that I think is on earth too, besides the drugs, you know. But uh, why you're not healing is because of the constant war. You see, 7 days a week you eat. And so your body is always trying to fight off all these chemicals and dyes and things that you're ingesting. And so when a flu comes along, your body is busy fighting off all these other things every day. So it can't direct all of its attention to the flu. So therefore, it's going to be worse than it had to be. It's going to last longer than it had to because your body got to fight off all these foreign substances that you keep taking in. My mouth is getting very dry as usual. So, um, I'm going to tell you, and my regular subscribers, I don't have many, but there's a few that watch a lot all the time. And to them, I know that they care and they know that I'm not lying or just trying to say stuff to get subscribers or something like that. The truth is more important because I believe that the ones that have the patience and really wanted to listen to what somebody had to say, they would listen. So what I'm saying is that the body was designed from the beginning to heal itself. Now, the reason it's not showing you quicker, faster results, healing you faster, getting you back on your feet, making you feel strong, is because it's always busy 365 days a year fighting off the things that's going to destroy your organs. So it's trying to defend against it. It's trying to save your eyesight. It's trying to stop you from eating your heart. It's trying to save your liver and your kidneys. It's trying to save you from having amputations and just all the things that come with diabetes and a lot of these other diseases. So uh, you have to change your eating habits, okay? Also, I'll stick with one at a time. Eating habits. You got to change from slamming those burgers and the bad stuff, greasy foods and all that, and get a discipline to it. So my personal technique was elegance. That's what I like to call it. Oh, speaking of elegance, that's one thing I respect about Donald Trump. He eats his burgers with a knife and a fork. Now, for me, it doesn't get more elegant than that. I think he has some class as far as I'm concerned. In him, there is some class. So I have to eat, vegetables, eat better than I'm used to. I'm used to eating better now, but when I changed, one of the things I did was I would put the carrots on one side, long slice carrots, get the big carrots, slice them down, cook those, and they'll be laying on the side of my plate like I'm a chef or something like that. The green beans would be neatly over to the side or something like that. The steak if you took a whole steak and you could eat a fourth of that steak or a third of that steak, then you have to begin to cut it down to you just had a strip. So a strip of steak meat on your plate. And so you always start eating in elegance. Since you have to make this change from this regular crappy food, and you're making the transition over to healthier foods, and it can't be fast. You have to cut down on this, cut down on that. But the point is that you have to eat it elegantly. It's a state of mind. You have to change how you think, and you have to change a lot of things. So eating with the knife and fork. Now, when you don't even need to, the stuff can be soft enough that you didn't even need a knife, but you're taking that time to slice it. You could be thinking about, I'm eating healthier. I'm going to get healthier. And I'm eating slower because I have to use my fork and cut it with a knife, and just things you can't say, I'm going to stop eating all of this. I'm not going to eat no more crap, eat no more sugar, drink no more sugar. If you do that, you're going to fail within 2 weeks, most likely. If you're the strong type, I give you 2 weeks. And if you're extra strong, I give you 3 weeks, less than a month. You won't make it. But if you cut down, let's say you drink a lot of Pepsi, well, you start cutting it down slowly, week by week. Less, skip a day here, skip 2 days there. Keep plenty so you won't feel like I don't have it. I need it. I got to get it. Have it there, but you don't have to drink it all. Say one, practice the discipline, especially the discipline on the things you're used to consuming a lot of, or to your convenience, to your feel, of it like that. So another issue you're going to run into is finding good food, right? So it's important that you look for farmers markets and farms if you know people, and if you could buy your beef from somebody that slaughters beef, or have their beef slaughtered, then you'll probably get it better quality, bigger pieces, and at a better price than the stores. The big stores, better price than their steaks or whatever you buy off a cow. You could get better prices from the ranchers themselves, the ones who have the animals butchered. I guess my point is your body's always kept. If you would stop eating all of these things constantly every day, the more you cut out, the less your body has to fight. Then after a few weeks, it's going to really be less your body has to fight. And after a few months, it can begin to focus on any other thing that enters your body, any other healing that you need, muscles, legs. All right, I'll get off the food. Exercise. Exercise, the older people lose their legs first. They start getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And the main thing we do is sit around. Those of us that's not real active and have some place to go or be a job to be on at this age, we sit around a lot. And sitting around a lot is not good for the body or your lower back or your hips and all that. This seated position is not good. So it's important that you learn to bend over and touch your toes. It's important that you learn if you can do a squat. You got to be able to squat, even if you have to hold on to something until you can do it without holding on. If you can't do but 2 squats, 3 squats, you keep doing those till it turns to 4 squats, 5 squats. We're not young as we used to be. And if you want to live longer, you cannot keep poisoning yourself. So exercise is one of the most important ones. So let's say you're a diabetic and you're having trouble keeping your blood sugar numbers low. then that would tell me right away that you're not exercising. You're not doing nothing but eating and walking around or something like that, but you're not exercising, because the exercise will make your muscles need that sugar. Your muscles will begin to eat that sugar and spit it out because you're working them like a bodybuilder. It wants the carbs and stuff, so it won't have time to be damaging your organs because your organs will be sucking it up, eating it raw like that. So uh, if you start to eat right, the more you eat right, the less your body has to fight, the less the war has to be on in your body. Then, if you catch some disease or have some issue, your body can direct all its attention. It'll halt everything else it's doing and focus on that issue until you are healed. Then those other issues will be bugging you again, but it will stop and focus on that one. Those won't bother you when your body focuses on the problem. The rest of the stuff will get like secondary numbness or something. But I promise you that if you would eat right and begin to exercise, see, you don't have no excuse. I'm too weak. I'm too old. I can't do this. I can't do that. That won't work. Because I would take one look at you and say, can you pick up 3 pounds and hand you a Walmart weight? Cost me about $3 or $4, but it weighed 3 pounds, so I bought it, right? So, and then you be picking it up. You say, oh, this ain't that heavy. This ain't nothing. I'll say, good. So give me 300 of them on both arms. So get 2 little weights. They're only 3 pounds, right? Now, if you're telling me you can never get strong enough to work out with them 3 pounds, they're telling me you either very sick for real or incapacitated is what I mean. Or you're not even trying. 3 pounds, okay, the babies weigh more than 3 pounds and you was picking them up, So it's a matter of retraining yourself. So the diet helps, but the diet alone won't do the trick for your body. So that you need some walking. So let's say you don't want to get out and walk. You live in the kind of neighborhood, I'm not walking around this place, you crazy. Then you buy you a stationary bike and you put it in the house. Because the stationary bike, you start off, don't keep it up on 7 or 10 or not when you can't even pedal. Put it down reasonable level, because we have one, and when I first started getting on it, I would put it on 6, and on 6 I lasted about 3 minutes. And so one day I was telling the doc, he said, you should get a bike or something and in the house. I said, oh, I got one. I said, I last about 3 minutes on 6. He said, no. He said, what do you keep the number on? I said, 6. He said, well, I would prefer that you drop the number down and pedal longer than just doing that hard work for a few minutes and stopping. He would rather I've been on 3 or 4 and went 10 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes, And so if you could just get that bike right, you're eating better, you're exercising, and you're riding your bike. That helps to take care of you not walking. And if you don't have any endurance, the bike will help build that up and get you to walking. And those of you that can afford it, just go to the gym, and walk the track. Whatever happens, walk that track. I don't care about the weight machines and what you get on and what you can do with that, but walk the track. The track is going to make you lose weight. At first, it's going to be something, but pretty soon you'll be up to a mile. Then after you get in shape for a mile, you're going to want to go for 2 miles. And after a while, you're going to be saying, I feel healthier. My back doesn't hurt that much. I'm stronger. I can do this. And I eat right. And I exercise. Now I'm even walking. And so I don't want to bore you and go over the same things over and over, but I'm going to always come back to telling you that half of the problems is what we're eating. They trained Americans to be dependent on them for their food. They're training you, they learn that you'll eat anything and you'll buy anything for them. All they got to do is make it taste good. It reminded me of a guy in China. They busted him. He's selling them rice cakes and he making them out of cardboard and stuff as some of his ingredients. So he went around off the ground picking up, not those nice places in China that they show on TV. He was picking up the cardboard from off the streets and stuff, taking it home. And he was actually baking and making his formula, but he had you eat 90% paper. And so the people don't care. It's greed. They want the money. They don't care if it kills you, your kids, and your grandma. They do not care. They only want the money. So don't just go along with the program. At least pay attention to what you're eating and what you're putting in your body. And I promise you, those that listen to this will be healthier within 2 months, 3 months. You're going to feel the difference. Blood pressure's going to go down. Diabetes medicine like metformin, you're going to be coming off that or lowering the dose. And so I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. And so I appreciate you listening to me, especially y'all that listen to this point. You know, most people don't have the patience to listen to nothing. You got to be exciting. You got to hold their attention. When I try to talk about things to save your life,